If you've ever typed a question in ChatGPT or Claude and got something like a generic response so average or so useless that you just closed the tab and did it all by yourself, this is not an AI problem or a model problem. This is what I call as context/prompting problem. And here is the principle behind it. Most people use the model like a Google search bar. They type in one line question and expect a elite level response. And that's not how it works. A generic input is equal to generic output. And here's what the top 1% does differently. They have got a systematic framework with multi-step process, and this is a difference between a one-line prompt looks like versus a deliberate process. It's a reason behind why you get generic garbage and someone else gold. I took 3 months to build this systematic framework of what I call it as draft. I have used it in planning business strategies, marketing research, writing scripts, content strategies, and even hard conversations. And the difference between before draft and after draft isn't small. It is the difference between you have to do all the work again versus the output is ready to be published. And if that's interesting to you, watch till the end of the video where I'm going to be telling you how to get this draft PDF and the 5 prompts that I have built based on this framework completely free. Process D for dump. And this is one of the primary and most crucial in order for you to be in the top 1%. So imagine a baby. It does not know how to crawl. It does not know wear clothes by itself. It does not even recognize people. It is being trained over the journey. And the same thing happens to the AI. It does not know the difference between effective versus ineffective ones. It does not know the difference between what good looks like. It doesn't know what top 1% looks like. I will give you a scenario. Imagine I'm working in a startup environment where we are of open culture. We don't have that formality that needs to be maintained. We don't have a hierarchical structure. So maybe I will just type to my founder about the updates through WhatsApp or Slack. Maybe you are working in some corporate environment having a hierarchical structure, following a traditional method. If you need to send some communication to your vice president or to CEO, you need to follow a set of process. Maybe you have to email with a set of documentations, right? But how can you expect AI to know all of this? I would tell you a golden rule. Don't ever type. Use voice mode. According to the research done by the University of Stanford and University of Washington, typing is around 3x slower than that of speaking. And one more thing, speaking gives you 20% more accurate than that of typing. And layer it with the cognitive skills or cognitive of the brain. A brain can hold only 4 chunks of memory at the same time. And it produces around 140 to 150 words per minute. And the average typing speed is around 40 to 45 words per minute. By the time you type the first sentence, your brain must have produced 3 or 4 sentences. And the other 2-3 sentences is just going into garbage. It's just going out of your brain. It's just not because you're not disciplined or your typing speed is not great. It is just how your brain is structured. And that is the difference between a voice mode and a typing thing. And this is the prompt that I would tell you before just dumping all the data that you have got it on your brain. Just tell ChatGPT or any other model, say that I'm going to be brain dumping my memory for another 4 to 5 minutes. Don't give any output. Don't summarize. Don't respond. Just save it up in your memory. Just use all this data, and I will exactly tell you what needs to be done in the future. And I use Whisper Flow to do all this. And this is not a sponsored video at all. So I just press a one button and I speak for 5 to 10 minutes. And that's the difference between a person using voice text and person typing. I have typed around 40,000 words in this month, around 130 words per minute. Imagine how many data I must have given it to AI. R stands for reverse interview, and it's a move that no one must have ever told you, and it's a single move that differentiates between the top 1% prompting versus the average prompting. Even though after dumping all the data that you have got in your brain, the model will still have some gap. Okay, what do I mean by gap? Is that imagine that you have given a task to the model and you have just dumped all the information that you have got in your brain. It will still have some gaps or the context that has been missing. Maybe you must have not known, because obviously how will you know, right, what all the context that it needs for generating the output? So what it does is it fills those gaps with averages, and where it finds the averages, because it is working under internet umbrella, it goes to the internet, finds those averages and fills those blanks with averages, and that's why your response feels generic and stuff. Now let us flip the script. We are going to be asking AI to interview you. We are going to be telling you, okay, and this is the exact prompt that I use whenever I'm allotting a task to the AI. So I tell them, okay, I'm going to start a project. Interview me until you gain 95% confidence on what I want, not what you think I want. Ask me 10 to 12 specific questions, and ask me one question at a time, and wait for my response before proceeding into the next one. Don't fill any gaps with the averages or any internet-based answer. Do flag it and ask me the question before proceeding into the next step or before generating the output. So now what happens is, now you're giving a direction to the AI with a goal and with the signboard. Now it exactly knows where to go and how to go. And you will know the surprise once you get into question 5 or 6. You will get to know the information that you were not knowing about your own task. You're going to be brainstorming the question that it has asked for, and that discomfort brings value to your project. Imagine the things that I don't know. I'm going to be thinking about it. Okay, what I'm going to be doing with this, right? I'm going to be thinking, and this is not going to happen when you're brain dumping all the information that you've got. You see the difference what I'm talking about? And now you have got a specialized direction that you need to go, a specific direction. So now you're going to be thinking more, brainstorming, because you know what the question you need to answer to. And trust me, you will be stunned with the output that it would be giving it to you after you do all this. And we are just right at 2. Let's go to the third process. A stands for aim. It consists of 3 components: objective, investigation, and output format. Objective. If you tell AI to build me a pitch deck, it's a title, it's not an objective. An objective is like what you want to achieve from this task. I wanted to make a pitch deck to raise 50k seed from a Y Combinator. That is my objective. And investigation is where you want AI to spend its time on, where you want it to analyze and investigate. Maybe for me in this situation is, I wanted to segregate my competitors, what is their EBITDA, what is their revenue, what is their sales, etc. Or I could be telling it like, what are the 3 objectives that the investors could be asking me based on my traction. The third is the most important, that will decide your overall output format. How you want your output to be structured. You need to give it a template. Maybe it could be just giving you a summary. It could be giving a bullet points, or you want it in a paragraph with 200 words versus 2000 words. Whether you want it to be a formal with data driven from credible sources, and you want a hyperlinks of each research that it is being collected on. And if you exactly know what your output needs to look like, the AI will just replicate based on what you have said. And if you can't describe it, AI will just make a guess. It will just go and take averages, and you know how the averages will look like. So you need to exactly know how you want your output to be structured, just giving it a template. And F for fence, rules that AI needs to be obedient to. So what AI can't do, or when it needs to stop questioning and start delivering. AI is such a obedient that it follows each and every rules that you structure. But what if you don't set any rules? It just goes here and there. It starts hallucinating the sources, gives you invalid URLs, gives you and starts asking you question repeatedly, even though it has the answer. It just takes 15 seconds, but once you use this prompt right, the level of your output increases drastically. And there are two types of fence: context fence and behavior fence. Context fence is just it's just the rules that you set. For example, all the sources that is being delivered should be fact checked, so it needs to follow it. No bullet points, only paragraphs with section headlines, only peer reviewed sources from credible articles. So these are the set of rules that you're forming for AI to perform. And the next is behavior fence, and this is when most of you get ignored or no one teaches you. Just trust me, this one prompt is equal to the course by the prompt engineering that you paid for. Most of the, imagine I have told you in our reverse interview that once you do a specialized 2 to 12 questions until you gain 95% confidence on what I want from you. But what if AI has all the questions or all the context, all the data by the end of third question? What will happen in the next 7? It's going to still ask you, because you have set the rules that to ask 10 12 questions. So you have to set a constraint in such a way that it needs to have all the information, and at the same time you don't need to overperform, not asking the same question again and again. So you have to use this prompt: stop interviewing me once you get all the required data and information, and in such a way that you get 95% accuracy. Don't paddle around questions. If you get all the information you need it at question 3, just stop it at question 3. And trust me, once you start using this prompt, your tokens get saved. What do I mean by tokens? So if you use Claude or ChatGPT at a required, like once you do 10 to 12 queries, it will just abruptly stop, saying that you have exceeded the session limit, come back after 4 to 5 hours. It's because you have used all its tokens. And in order to save those tokens, this one prompt can save you a lot of tokens. People think that setting constraint is a barrier to AI. It's not going to perform good. It's not going to perform to its best. No, it's just deviating its energy from different directions all into one direction, which will lead to an elite level output. And the last system, truth mode. And this is where AI flips from yes mode to a ruthless mentor. All the AI are in its dating phase. So whatever you type, it nods and accepts it, even though if you're saying it wrong. So you don't need a yes man. You need a ruthless mentor who can get potential. You can get full potential from you, who can set you up into a discomfort phase and gets all the input and builds an elite level output. Be only one prompt that can change the whole sequence. Be a ruthless mentor. Be as blunt as possible. Don't sugarcoat things. Help me to rank this particular thing out of 10. And if it scores below 8 or 9, what are the things that needs to be changed? One thing could be this. Or you can also be a ruthless mentor. Don't sugarcoat with things. Help me to achieve my goal within this 30 days. I don't care what you will do, but I want this to be achieved. Now what happens is the AI shifts into ruthless mentor. It gets work from you. Your task will be completed. So I have built a 5 prompt based on this framework. I will show you one prompt that I've used, and I will show you the output that is being generated through this framework. So now I would be exactly showing you how I'm using the draft framework to a real life example. So I have already made up 5 prompts using this framework in a PDF, and see at the end of the video where I'll be telling about how you can get this as a PDF. So now so now I have come into ChatGPT. So I'm gonna paste this whole prompt over here, and this particular prompt is about it needs to interview me. So imagine I have an interview tomorrow, and today it's gonna give me a mock interview kind of a thing. So I have fed in all the details, everything is being done, all the frameworks have been completed. I just pasted it. So now it's asking a question, right? What is the company or organization you're interviewing with? So let me say maybe Zomato. What role or position are you interviewing for at Zomato? Maybe operations. See, it's asking me operations still broad. So no one is gonna apply for operations, right? Now it's asking me that okay, Vishal, operations too broad. You have to go deeper. What exact operations role is it? It has now given me. So based on what your position for your interview tomorrow is, you can type it over here and it will tell you. So maybe I'm telling it logistics operation. What is your current level maybe? I have maybe 2 to 5 years of experience. See, it's telling me it's vague because I'm writing a vague thing. I wanted to show whether it's giving me, whether it's able to recognize whether I'm giving a vague answer or not. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I hate typing, right? So I'm gonna press this one. So hi, so I've been working as a logistics final mile delivery manager at Walmart for the past 3 years. I've been on a department manager position for the past 2 years. So my exact day-to-day operations will be looking at the KPI metrics, and so I have already done this, and now you can see the result that's being given by ChatGPT. So it has now told me what I'm strong in, what Zomato cares about, 10 likely interview questions. How would you reduce your delivery time in high demand areas? They're testing how to answer. It has given me a blueprint on this needs to be answered. Look at this. How do you handle rider shortages during peak hours? How would you handle customer complaints about late deliveries? How do you ensure high team performance? Describe a time you handled a major operational failure. Why Zomato? By 5 behavioral questions. Tell me about a time you led a team under pressure. So these are the questions, the case questions. Orders are increasing, but delivery time is getting. So now you exactly know how this actually. So we have come to the end of the video. I know what you must be thinking. How can I get those 2 PDFs? So I have built the draft systematic framework PDF and 5 prompts which could elevate your productivity, your career through this framework. So there is only 2 steps that you need to do in order to get this. First, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and next, I have linked my Instagram page over there. So go to my Instagram channel, follow me over there, and DM me with the screenshots. And once you do it, I will send you both the PDFs completely free. And comment me what type of videos do you expect or what type of videos do you want. So see you next video. Until then, bye.